Hey, what's up, guys? It's been a while. I'm back with another week of Tech Rant. So today I was thinking about discussing my opinions on these AI tools, basically like ChatGPT, Claude, most of the tools that like software engineers use, right? But because lately I've been seeing like way too many videos like on YouTube saying AI tools are gonna take your job, AI tools are gonna take your job, and it's most of the videos like the thumbnails and the titles are like AI tool is like AI, AGI, or like artificial intelligence is gonna take your job. It's game over, and find a different career opportunities, and like apocalyptic kind of like scenario in terms of like finding job, which is like which is cool and all to get views. I probably might use a similar title for this video, but anyway. So my main point is like, so I've been working as an engineer for like almost 4 years right now. So I have used most of the tools, like all the AI tools like Cloud Code. You can name GitHub Copilot or like ChatGPT and GPT 3, 2, 1, like all the models I've used so far, right? So I mean, the models are improving, right? I mean, they are improving. That is very true. But at the same time, they're not improving as much as most of the YouTube videos they claim to be. Like, like when a new model, like when a new GPT model drops, right? Every single YouTuber is making like this model is a game changer and it can do almost everything and like what to do next, and it's like game over kind of situation, right? I think when recently GPT-5 launched, and I think CEO OpenAI Sam Altman was like, this is insane. Like he marketed it so well that it was basically giving warning to engineers that I don't know, go to some mountain and buy some land and start farming the guys, because it's you ain't touching a computer ever again. But honestly, like after 1 week after GB5 came out, I tested it and I tried it for like simple arithmetic operations, and that failed. And it couldn't do a simple subtraction, like decimal subtraction. And I was like, was that a glitch or something like that? So I was thinking for some time. Then um, I asked my friend, and who was also working as an engineer, and he also said that GPT-5 was like trash. So then that's what like I feel like many of the models that are released, and I don't know what kind of like the way they're releasing the models, and like they're not performing like as what they are marketed to be. Like GPT-5 was choking on small, simple problems like arithmetic operation. Even like a small code I was giving it, it was choking on that. It was not able to produce. But on the advertisements, it was like it was building 3D games using libraries like 3JS and stuff like that. And so yeah, coming to that is one thing you guys gotta realize that I feel like most of the AI tools, and I'm not sure what the trade data they're trained on, but as since I started as a front-end developer and now I work with back-end infra cloud like heavily on those areas too. So I realized for like front-end development tasks like building UI components, it can one-shot most of the stuff if you give it the right prompt. Like Cloud Code can one-shot, ChatGPT, somewhat like basic components it can one-shot, but um it still struggles for like complicated components if it's like a full stack application and stuff. But still, for front end, it's really good. But I feel all these, most of these coding tools or like AI tools are trained on data specific to like JavaScript based, or like I feel they only do really good with React or front end based like JavaScript, React, Angular, Vue.js, or anything really with TypeScript. Or because I feel most of the startups nowadays, in order to get to market, they basically use JavaScript framework to build their prototype, get to market, probably get the investment money, then probably invest in like paying better engineers to build like a proper full scale backend and front end. So that's the thing, is like since all these AI tools are sort of marketed based on the projects they're making on TypeScript, or like using basically front end based tools, it's kind of how do I say, it kind of creates a false image for most people, because their engineering is like computer engineering especially is like such a big field. There's cybersecurity, there's hardware engineering, there's IoT engineering, there's like I don't know, sensor, hardware, cloud, like infrastructure, like so many areas are there, and so many of them use so many different tech stacks. Because otherwise, because you cannot build everything with TypeScript or JavaScript. I mean, it, JavaScript is more like jack of all trades, master of none. And to me, it's like that. I mean, you can get to market quickly, but if you want to build like a full stack application that is gonna be, let's say, like really scalable in the foreseeable future, usually big companies, they probably would prefer like a proper backend language, like let's say Go or Java, Spring Boot, or like Rust, or maybe like, yeah, probably like PHP Laravel. That's also pretty good. But the problem is, when you type on YouTube, like how to become an engineer, probably the first video that's gonna be recommended to you is based on a TypeScript framework, which is probably like React, and it's probably like a full stack JavaScript. What do you call it? Like a pathway that leads you to become a full stack engineer, which is basically learning Mern, or like learning Node.js, or learning I don't know, like, yeah, pretty much like Node Express, React, or Next.js serverless backend. Basically, most of the YouTube videos are based on like that, right? So of course, AI tool is gonna do really good on those, because that's pretty much like the tip of the iceberg for like any engineering course. But how many of the YouTube videos have you seen really work on a proper full stack application, not like the fake ones? That, like, of course, YouTubers have to make those kind of videos because it's easier to make like a prototype-ish full scale application that can is appealing to the customers, and people can follow along the tutorials and kind of learn how to code, which is good, which is great. Like, I sometimes use it to increase my own knowledge too. But at the same time, how many of those videos do you think have like a comprehensive tutorial where they use a proper backend language? Let's say, I don't know, like let's say we keep React in the front end, and let's say they use Go, or using like, and Go, or using like Go channels, Go routines, or like, I don't know, like certain different programming language and their own features and like paradigms, like, or using like Java Spring Boot in the backend, or making full scale using Rust or something like that, right? So, or how many of the videos have you seen are based on like hardware engineering? Because hardware, people forgetting hardware engineering, they still require C for most of the hardware is coded in C, or nowadays Rust or Zig. That's a new one, I think. Is Z-I-G? I think Zig. Yeah. So many of the engineering fields are still missing from the traditional sources, because in order to learn those, you probably gotta go through like maybe a computer science course, or probably gotta go through actual documentation and read about them. Also, how many of the videos have you seen talk about, let's say, infrastructure, like cloud infrastructure, especially on YouTube? Like AWS, I'm personally working on AWS, and AWS is like insanely complicated, and there are like tons of configurations. There's like a vast area of documentation. And I tried using I think Cloud Code to build some policies for AWS, like let's say roles, or like building some Lambda functions, or like adding some policies to existing Lambda function, or like using different AWS services, and it choked completely. It doesn't know anything. Like, it was horrible. I had to. The, the quickest way I got that done was just to go through the documentation myself in AWS, then sort of like figure things out. So I feel since most of the people on YouTube are kind of highlighting the fact, like they're making it look like AI tools are crazy good, because they only show, well, I would say 90% usually show AI tools performing on React based or front end based application, or on the front end side of things mainly. Nobody really shows much working like on the hardcore proper back end stuff. Like I said, Spring Boot or Go, or like stuff like proper backend, like So I think that's what creates a false image for like new grads that are coming, learning computer science, and they're like giving up, because they're like, oh, there's no other way, because every single YouTube video is like showing like apocalyptic kind of scenario, in terms of like, oh, it's gone, it's over. But I feel, of course, AI did make things complicated, as in terms of you're definitely more productive if you have the right knowledge. You're definitely more productive, and that kind of raises the bar in terms of like application, and who gets hired, who doesn't get hired, for sure. And that's inevitable. In a way, it was going to happen sooner or later. So at the same time, I feel like it's better not to worry, stress too much, and just focus on just, I don't know, studying properly, and just getting the fundamentals properly down, if you really want to become an engineer, because you just cannot get away with the to-do app anymore, right? In addition, of AI tools does make it easy to cheat on coding tests, I guess. So many of the cases, interviews, especially in Japan, or different countries too. Actually, they're changing to in-person interviews where you go probably on site in the company and just probably whiteboard solutions and things like that. Yeah, I personally had to do that for the latest company that I joined, or just in-person interview because they want to know you as a person and they want to see your problem-solving ability. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't really worry too much about AI still. Another word that like people are still talking about like AGI. AGI is gonna like come maybe someday, but based on what I've seen so far, I would say we're still quite far away from AGI. Like personally speaking, like my opinion. So based on what I see, I don't see anytime soon you have to worry about AGI coming and taking your job because it's far more complex than what people make it out to be. Just throwing the term AGI here and there doesn't just mean it's gonna like pop out of the sky or something like that. It's gonna take some time. There's what I'm seeing right now because yeah, and yeah, just don't panic. Just I feel like you just gotta keep at it and keep applying for job opportunities and kind of like um one more important thing is just to be able to kind of diversify yourself because when I was front end, I felt very limited, but now I feel like being able to touch hardware side of things, being able to touch like a little bit infrastructure side of things, a little bit of cloud side of things, I feel like getting quite diversified as I kind of like continue my career. So I feel like diversifying is very important in this kind of job market, and like not to get in the JavaScript trap. I mean, no hate JavaScript, I love JavaScript, but yeah, I'm just saying, like, but, yeah, this is my opinion. I don't know much. There are tons of senior engineers with decades of experience that probably have a better idea, but this is what I feel right now. So I wouldn't worry too much with AI and shit. So yeah.